And what are you going to do? Harry asked, eyeing Snape's wand apprehensively. I am about to attempt to break into your mind, said Snape softly. We are going to see how well you resist. I have been told that you always show an aptitude in resisting the Imperius Curse. You will find that similar powers are needed for this. Brace yourself now. Legalments! Snape had struck before Harry was ready. Before Harry had even begun to summon a force of resistance, the office swam in front of his eyes and vanished. Image after image racing through his mind like flickering film, so vividly it blinded him to his surroundings. He was 5, watching Dudley riding a new bike. His heart was busting with jealousy. He was 9, and Ripper the bulldog was chasing him up the tree, and Dursley's were laughing below on the lawn. He was sitting under the Soaring Hat, telling him he would do well in Slytherin. Hermione was lying in the hospital, and her face covered with thick black hair. 100 Dementors were closing in beside the dark lake. Cho Chang was drawing near him under the mistletoe. No, said a voice in Harry's head as the memory of toes were closer and closer. Under the mistletoe. No, said a voice in Harry's head as the memory of Cho drew nearer. You're not watching this. You're not watching it. It's private. He felt a sharp pain in his knee. Renee's voice had come back into view. Snape's voice had come back into view, and he realized he had fallen to the floor. One of his legs needed to glide painfully with the leg of the desk. He then looked up at Snape, who was lowering his wand and was rubbing his wrist. There was no everything well there. He was angry. Did you mean to produce a stinging hex? Noticed Harry bitterly getting out from the door. I thought so, said Snape impetuously. You let me get in too far. You lost control. Did you see what I saw? Harry asked, unsure of whether he wanted to hear that. Flashes of it. Said Snape, his lip curling. To him did the dog belong. My Aunt March, Harry muttered, hating Snape. But for a first time, that was not as pale as it might have been, said Snape, raising his wand once again. You managed to stop me eventually through, though you wasted time shouting. Well, for a first time, that was not poor as it might have been, said Snape, raising his wand once again. You managed to stop me eventually, though you wasted your time and energy shouting. You must remain focused. Repel me with your brain, and you will not need to resort to your wand. I'm trying, said Harry angrily. But you're not telling me how. Manners, Potter. And I want you to close your daughters. I'm trying, Harry said, Harry angrily, but you're not telling me. Patience, Harry. Manners, Potter. And I want you to close your eyes. I'm trying, said Harry angrily, but you're not telling me how. Manners paused, Harry dangerously. No, I want you to choose to close your eyes. Harry threw him a filthy look before doing as he was told. He did not like the idea of standing with eyes shut while Snape standed, facing him carrying a sword. Clear your mind, Potter. Let go of all emotion. A great black dragon, was rearing in front of Harry. His father and mother were waving from him onto him like a beast. You're not. But Harry's anger at Snape continued to push through his veins like venom. Let go of his anger? Clear your mind, Potter, said Snape with a cold voice. Let go of all emotions. But Harry's anger at Snape continued to pound through his veins like venom. Let go of his anger? He could easily detach his legs. You're not doing it, Potter. You will need more discipline in this. Focus now. Harry tried to empty his mind, try not to think or remember or feel. Let's go again on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Legamus! A great black dragon was roaring in front of him. His mother and father were waving from the other from his mother and father were waving him into a mirror. Cedric headed for it. Well, you're not doing it, Potter. You will need more discipline in this. Focus now. Harry tried to empty his mind, try not to think or remember or feel. Let's go again on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Legamus! A great black dragon was rearing in front of him. His mother and father were waving at him out of an enchanted mirror. Director Diggory was lying on the ground with blank eyes staring. No! He was on his knees again, his face buried in his hands. His brain aching as though someone had been trying to pull it through pull through his skull. Shut up, said Snape sharply. Get up. You're not trying. You're not making no effort. You're allowing me to access your fear. Handing me weapons. Harry stood up again, his heart thumping wildly. Though he really just seen Cedric dead in the graveyard. Snape looked paler than usual and angry, though not nearly as angry as Harry was. I am making an effort, he said through clenched teeth. I told you to empty yourself of emotion. Yeah, well, I'm finding that hard at the moment. Then you will find yourself easy prey for the Dark Lord, said Snape savagely. Fools who wear their hearts proudly on their sleeves, who cannot control their emotions, who wallow in sad memories and allow themselves to be provoked that easily. Weak people, in other words. They stand no chance against his power. He will penetrate your mind that with absurd easy. Potter, I am not weak, said Harry in a low voice. Fury now pumping through him, so he thought. He might attack Snape in a moment. Then prove it. Master yourself, said spat Snape. Control your anger. Discipline your mind. We shall try again. Get ready now. Legomas! He was watching Uncle Vern hammering the letterbox door. 100 of Menners were drifting across the lake in the grounds toward him. He was running along the windowless passage with Mr. Wheeler. They were drawing near to the plain black door at the end of the cupboard. Harry had expected to go through it, but Mr. Weasley led him off to the right down the flight of more steps. I know. He was on all fours again on Snape's office. His voice but Mr. Weasley led him off to the left down a flight of stairs. I know. He was on all fours again on Snape's office floor. His cigar was prickling unpleasantly, but the voice that just issued from his mouth was triumphant. He pushed himself up again to find Snape staring at him, his wand raised So this time Snape had lifted the veil before Harry had even tried to fight back. What happened then, Potter? He asked, eyeing Harry Lee. I remembered, Harry panted. Just realized. Realized what? I remembered, Harry panted. I just realized. Realized what? Asked Snape sharply. Harry did not answer at once. He was still savoring the moment of blinding realization as he rubbed his forehead. He had been dreaming about the windowless corridor ending in a locked door for months without realizing that it was a normal pace. That it was a real place. Nothing the memory again, he knew that all along he had been dreaming about the corridor down which he had run with Mr. Weasley on the 12th of August as they hurried to the courtroom in the Ministry was the corridor leading to the Department of Mysteries, and Mr. Weasley had been there that night when he had been attacked by Voldemort's snake. He looked up at Snape. What's in the Department of Mysteries? What did you say? Snape asked quietly, and Harry saw with deep satisfaction that Snape was unnerved. I said, what's in the Department of Mysteries, sir? Harry said. And why, said Snape slowly, would you ask such a thing? Because that court, said Harry, watching Snape closely for reaction, that corridor I've been dreaming about it for months. I just recognized it. It leads to the Department of Mysteries, and I think Voldemort wants something from there. I have told you not to say the Dark Lord's name. They glared at each other again. Harry's scars seared again, but he did not care. Snape looked agitated when he spoke, and he sounded as though he was trying to appear cool and unconcerned. There are many things in the Department of Mysteries, Potter, few of which you would understand, none of which concern you. Do I make myself plain? Yes, Harry said, still rubbing his prickly scar, which was becoming more painful. I want you back here same time on Wednesday, and we will continue work then. Fine, said Harry. He was desperate to get out of Snape's office and find Ron and Hermione. You are to rid your mind of all of it. All emotions every night before you sleep. Empty it. Make it blank and calm, you understand? Yes, said Harry, who was barely listening. And be warned, Potter. I shall know if you've not practiced. Right, Harry mumbled. He picked up his school bag, swung it over his shoulder, and hurried toward the office door. As he opened He glanced back at Snape, who was back to Harry, scooping his own thoughts out of the pensieve with the tip of his wand and replacing them carefully inside his own head. Harry left without another word, closing the door carefully behind him, his scar still throbbing painfully. Harry found Ron and Hermione in the library where they had been working on Umbridge's most recent ream of homework. Other students, nearly all of them fifth years, sat at lamp-lit tables nearby, noses close to the books, quills scratching furiously, while the sky outside the mall window grew steadily blacker. The only sound was the slight squeaking of one of Madame Pince's shoes as the librarian prowled the aisles menacingly, breathing down the necks of those touching her precious book. Harry felt shivery. His square was still aching. He felt almost feverish when he sat down opposite Ron and Hermione. He caught sight of himself in the window opposite. He was very white, and his scars seemed to be showing up more clearly than usual. I apologize for yawning, everybody. I'm just very tired. How did it go? Hermione whispered, and then looking concerned. Are you all right, Harry? Yeah, fine. I don't know, said Harry, impatiently wincing as pain shot through his scar again. Listen, I just realized something. And then he told them what he had just seen and deduced. So are you saying, whispered Ron, as Madame Pince swept past him, squeaking slightly, that the weapon, the thing, you know who's after, is in the Ministry of Magic? In the Department of Mysteries, it's gotta be, Harry whispered. I saw the door when your dad took me down to the courtroom for my hearing. It's definitely the same one he was guarding when the snake bit him. Hermione let out a long, slow sigh. Of course, she breathed. Of course what? Said Ron rather impatiently. Harry, Ron, think about it. Sturgis Pottermore was trying to get through the door to the Ministry of Magic. It must have been that one. It's too much of a coincidence. How come Sturgis was trying to break in when he was on our side? Well, I don't know, Harry admitted. That is a bit odd. So what is the Department of Ministries? Ron asked Harry. Harry asked Ron. Has your dad ever mentioned anything about it? I know they call the people working there unspeakable, said Ron, frowning. No one really seems to know what they do in there. Weird place to have a weapon. It's not weird at all. It makes perfect sense, said Hermione. It will be something top secret the ministry has been developing, I expect. Harry, are you sure you're all right? For Harry had just run both his hands hard over his forehead, trying to iron it. Yeah, fine, he said, lowering his hands, which were trembling. I just feel a bit. I don't like occlumency much. I expect anyone would feel shaky if they had their minds hacked over and over again, said Hermione sympathetically. Look, let's get back to the common room. We'll be a bit more comfortable there. But the common room was packed and full of shrieks of laughter and excitement. Fred and George were demonstrating their latest bit of joke shop merchandise. Headless hat, shouted George as Fred with a pointed hat that gray with his pink finger at the Washington Express. Too gallant indeed to watch Fred now. Fred swept the hat onto his head, looking rather stupid, then both hat and head vanished. Several girls screamed, but everyone else was roaring with laughter. And off again, shouted George, and Fred's hand groped for a moment what seemed to be thin air over his shoulder. Then his head reappeared as he swept the pink feathered hat from again. How do these hats work, then? Said Hermione, distracted from her homework and watching Fred and George. I mean, obviously, it's some kind of invisibility spell, but it's rather clever to have extended a field of invisibility beyond the boundaries of the charmed object. I imagine a charm would not have a very long life, though. Harry did not answer. He was feeling ill. I'm not. He's not have. Harry did not answer. He's still feeling ill. I'm gonna have to do this tomorrow, he muttered, pushing the books he had just taken out of his bag back inside it. Well, write in your homework planner then, said Hermione encouragingly, so you don't forget. Harry and Ron exchanged looks as he reached into his planner, withdrew the planner and opened it attentively. Don't leave it till later, you big second rater. Tied the book as Harry scribbled down Umbridge's homework. Hermione beamed at it. I think I'll go to bed, said Harry, stuffing the homework planner back into his bag and making a mental note to drop it into a fire the first chance he got. I think I'll go to bed. He walked across the common room, dodging George, who had tried to put a headless hat on him, and reached the peace and cool of the stone staircase to the boys' dormitory. He was feeling sick again, just as he had the night he had the vision of the snake, and thought that if he could just lie down for a while, he'd be all right. He opened the door to his dormitory and took one step inside when he experienced pain so severe he thought someone must have sliced into the top of his head. He didn't know where he was, whether he was standing or lying down. He didn't even know his own name. Maniacal laughter was ringing in his ears. He was happier than he'd been in a very long time. Jubilant, ecstatic, and triumphant. A wonderful, wonderful thing had happened. Harry! Harry! Somebody hit him around the face. The insane laughter was punctured with a cry of pain. The happiness was draining out of him, but the laughter continued. He opened his mind, and as he did, he became aware that the wild laughter was coming out of his own mouth. The moment he realized this, it died away. Harry lay panting on the floor, staring up at the ceiling, the scar on his forehead throbbing horribly. Ron was bending over him, looking very worried. What happened? He asked. I don't know. He's really happy. Really happy. You know who is? Something good happened, mumbled Harry. He was shaking so badly that as he had done after seeing the snake attack Mr. Weasley, and felt very sick. Something he's been hoping for. The words came back just as they had back in the Gryffindor changing room, as though a stranger was speaking them through Harry's mouth. He knew they were true. He took his deep breath, willing himself not to vomit all over Ron. He was very glad that Dean and Seamus were not here to watch this time. Hermione told me to come and check on you, said Ron in a low voice, helping Harry to his feet. She said your defenses will be low at the moment after Snape's been fiddling around with your mind. Still, I suppose it'll help in the long run, won't it? He looked doubtfully at Harry as he helped him toward bed. Harry nodded without any conviction and slumped back on his pillows. aching all over from having fallen to the floor so often that the evening, his scars still prickling painfully. He could not help feeling that his first foray into occlumency had weakened his mind's resistance rather than strengthening it, and he wondered, with a feeling of great trepidation, what had happened to make Lord Voldemort the happiest he had been in 14 years. The end.